So today's gospel, usually when we want to see how a relationship with Jesus for a family or for some friends, we look into John 11 or Luke 10, the relationship of Lazarus, Martha, and Mary with Jesus. God was real to them, was so real. It wasn't just a frozen faith that they believed in God, but they really had that real relationship with Jesus. When something went wrong in their house, they sent to Him. When they sent to Him, if you see the key word there, they told Jesus, "He whom you love is sick." He whom you love is sick. And this title, Him who you love, or who Jesus loved, is not reserved for Lazarus or for St. John, the beloved. This is an invitation for all of us to be called who Jesus loved. Jesus becomes real in our life, that we are really loved by Him. God's message today is about a virus that hit Christianity and hit all of us. It's in the water that we all drink and in the teachings that we are teaching our kids with. And this virus is building barriers on how we are making God real in our households, in our relationships, how God is not real anymore. And if you think about this virus, let's call it the consumerism virus. Out of that virus, there's a lot going on in our life. A lot of priorities are messed up. You know, Satan is the master of all confusion. He tries to confuse everything. He's confusing the meaning of love, confusing the role of women in the society, confusing the role of men in society, confusing the word equality, the word tolerance, confusing money, confusing success, all kind of confusion. He threw it out there for people to buy in. There's a story about a Cuban fisherman, a very simple man who had a simple boat, and he's kind of, enjoying life, simple life. He has a piece of land, and then an American businessman came to his land, and he was telling him, "Wow, you have a piece of pearl here as a treasure. How you spend your day?" He said, "No, I wake up in the morning, I go, I catch some fish and sell them and get some money for my kids, and at night I play with my kids, and then maybe I have a siesta here or there, and a little nap, and I go to play some music with my friends, and just a simple life." And the American businessman was like, "Oh man, you could do a lot of stuff here. You could make a resort here. There's a great hotel." And he said, "Okay, why?" He said, "You make a lot of money. And you could even do, this kind of a lot of great business ideas." He's like, "Okay, why?" He said, "Yeah, you make a lot of money, and you be successful, and you feel good." And he said, "Okay, and then what?" "And then you could meet your friend and play with your kids. You have the time to do all that." He said, "I do that now. I don't need all that. I already do it." So this virus of consumerism, when it hits, you find people working long hours. We all complain about it, and we all think about how you have long lines, and at the night when the new release of iPhone is in the stores, you find people spending the night in long lines. And I heard some people went to Australia so they can get it, and they claim they could get it before their friends because of the time zone of Australia. So it's crazy, an unprecedented kind of addiction to all this consumerism business. And billions of dollars are spent to make us all dissatisfied with our life and keep going and keep trying to fulfill that desire. And Jesus in Luke 10 was telling Martha that the need is only for one. The need is only for one. We don't need all that. There's no need for all this consumerism business. Even in churches, if you think about how the different churches, different flavors of the Christianity got hit by the consumerism virus, you think that it's orthodoxy is Christianity, just only tougher, right? You think that way. Orthodoxy is a Christianity, but it's only tougher version of it, only harder version of it. And this is absolutely not the right outlook of orthodoxy, because the consumerism virus made Sunday, for example, as maybe half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. I don't know how long in most Christians they spend time with God on Sunday. And for Orthodox to spend 2 hours or 3 hours in a church, that's extreme now. Why? Because do we have something more important than staying with God on Sunday? And becomes, like I said, is the water that we drink. It's acceptable. Everybody, oh, okay, yeah, that's the norm. You should go spend half an hour together and then go back to your business. What's our business? Our business should be God. We are not created to live here on earth. We are created to live in heaven. And where this is lost, the virus has hit everyone, and everyone is going about their business and about how to collect money, how to get degrees, and how to get all kind of stuff, and it's all in vain. Not to say we should not work hard, we should not get degrees, but we should do it for Him and have the priorities set properly. So when we come to church on Sunday, we know this is the Lord's day. We cannot steal that day from Him. The day when we spend 3 hours is not sufficient, is not enough. And it's not like, you have to check money, like, those are the 3 hours I give God. No, because it's more of, now I am all consumed by Him. He's so real in my life, and I'm so consumed of Him, so this is the least. So Orthodox is not just Christianity tougher, this is the basic Christianity. And then you could add to it on your own private time. Any other flavors, I don't know if it has anything to do with Christianity. I'm sorry to say that, but it is what the Bible teaches. And I'm not apologetic about it. So in the Pauline today, the first verse that we read, it says, only live according to the gospel. And what the gospel says the Sunday is the Lord's. And when we raise our kids, we want to raise them successful in business and being doctors and being, lawyers, and that's the best that we can get to raise our kids, or we are raising them to be holy, to be saints, to be, and happen to be doctors too, and happen to be other good stuff. So did we tell our kids, did we teach our kids that this is the most important thing? I remember I was reading about a biography of one of the Orthodox fathers, and he was saying, he shared a story about his father. He was saying that they were talking about, what's your biggest fear? They were asking each other, what's your biggest fear? And the dad told the son, my biggest fear is for you to lose integrity. It'd be much easier for me if I hear that you got an accident, or you like whatever other bad things in our worldly view, but I'm not fearing that as much as I'm fearing that one day you might you lose your integrity. And this is what we need to teach our kids, and the message that we send them when we come to participate in the liturgy, and when we come to participate in our all our godly works. It's because He's real, and because He's the only need, and we do other stuff for Him. If God appointed me to be a rich man, that's for Him. If God appointed me to be a low-income person, it doesn't matter. the social class of earth really doesn't matter to God, and not going to matter in few years. After everything, we go all to heaven. It's not going to matter. What really matters is our holiness, our pursuit of holiness, and how we raise our kids to be saints, and we raise them to be part of a big family, God's family. And at the same time, if we do a hard work for anything, Christians are very known to be very honest, very hard workers, and they do it with the right purpose, and they do it with the right type of mindset. When we get into the daily decisions of our life and the priorities of our life, it's very important to send this message to our kids and to make priorities in our life based on how God is real, how eternity is real. And we are living and we are created to live in heaven, not to live here on this earth. Glory be to God forever and ever. Amen.